All right, good evening. Welcome to the board meeting. Thank you all for attending this evening. If everyone could please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
You almost didn't make it up.
I know. Had to wait for, Greg just had knee surgery, so it took him an extra second or two to stand up there. Look at that. Very good. All right, can we begin with a verification of quorum?
Yes, Director Bill,
Here.
Director Cook,
Here.
Director Commission,
Here.
Director Doherty,
Here.
President Van Vliet,
Here?
by President Quorum met.
Thank you. Great, and let's begin with, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting on March 5th?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
Good. All right, with that, it is time for public official comments. I believe we are honored to have our mayor here. Please come forward, Dale.
Thank you for having me. I remember the red lights. When you press the button. So the city isn't quite modern yet. We still don't have the red lights on our microphone, but it's coming. So first thing and one of the important things is tomorrow night is the city council meeting. Normally it's a week after this meeting, but because of this week's delay, that tomorrow night, 6:30 City Hall, please come to the city meeting if you have a chance. The second thing is the Leisure Summit is scheduled for April 30th at 8 o'clock in Lake Elsinore. I would encourage especially any member of the board that can make it to make it. They're going to describe the watershed that comes down, that feeds our lake, that feeds Lake Elsinore. They're going to talk about alum. They're going to talk about other things that are coming down the watershed. And the watershed is essentially essential to Canyon Lake because it provides the water for the lake. So I want to encourage at least a couple of you to come down and attend. Next thing is that we're looking at alum treatment on April 22nd. It will be weather depending. I looked out in the weather. We have a chance of a little bit of rain, but really not the storms we've been having. So I'm pretty optimistic that on the week of April 22nd, you're going to see the unusual looking boat out there. Alum is something that takes the phosphorus and binds it and takes it down to the bottom of the lake, which will help with our algae blooms. For all of you, I've lived here a long time, and for those of us that have lived here a long time, Alex can probably attest that the algae blooms are probably 10% of what they used to be. So if you see a little algae in the lake, understand that if you were in here 20 years ago, you would have seen 10 times as much algae. Algae can be hazardous. Definitely keep your animals away from it. Don't ingest it. The POA will put warning signs out should the algae ever reach a point where it's hazardous. And other than that, I think we're good. The second thing, at the meeting tomorrow, we're going to honor Pat Kimball for his work as the director of golf at Canyon Lake, where he's been out there for years helping our kids, helping our adults. I think he's just done an amazing job, and we're going to recognize him tomorrow. So any of you want to come and see that? I know that this candidate forum is tomorrow, so there's going to be a little bit of a conflict, but that's happening. And that's all I have for today.
Great, thank you, Dale. Any comments or questions for Dale? Thank you, Dale. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, while we're on announcements again, and then again, the city council meeting is tomorrow at 6:30, but before that, and before you go to that or listen into that, at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, it's a battle of the candidates and a meet the candidates meeting here. And so I encourage anyone who's interested in coming to, if you don't know us, learn more about us, but more importantly, if you want to come and ask questions and or give us some perspective on things, it's an opportunity for a two-way dialogue, and we encourage you to participate in that. So please consider that. Okay. Let's begin with a community patrol update. Zach.
Good evening. Today I have prepared for us the February 2024 report. Let's go ahead and start off with speeding. We received 2 calls for service regarding that. We were unable to catch anybody speeding that month. We had 56 calls for parking, which 280 citations was issued for that. 55 calls for gate runners or unauthorized entry into the community, which 7 of those led to violations. 9 calls regarding golf cart violations occurred and 4 citations were issued for those. We received 26 calls about e-bikes and 8 citations was issued. We received 9 noise complaint calls and 1 citation was issued for the noise. We received a total of 175 calls for service. We had 32 of those calls where we were unable to locate. We had 42 guest citations issued, 4 service provider citations issued, 98 member citation issued, and 116 were warnings. 46 speed trailer citations were issued, 3 vandalism reports were found, 17 property damage reports were submitted, and 43 other there are 43 other violations that were reported in the month of February. 193 passes were confiscated and 68 minutes were spent at main gate to assist with traffic.
Thank you, Zach. Any questions or comments? Go ahead.
Yeah, Zach, thanks for that report. I appreciate it. I just looking at the parking citations for February and March, and they're up in the high 200s, mid to high 200s, which is a significant rise over the December and January. Is there something specific that we know about that?
Our supervisors have actually spent a lot more time trying to train our staff, and we've actually spent a lot more time out on the field together as a team, so that we were able to address a lot more violations that are occurring, and we're actually able to spot those and know how to address them right away.
And most of those citations are what, too far from the curb, red areas, or anything specific that people can be aware of?
It's a large mixture of everything. So most commonly is no pass, no decal. You're parked on the street, you had nothing displayed there. We were unsure that if the vehicle even belonged to the community, so therefore we had to go ahead and address that issue. Another common issue is people are actually parking too close to a stop sign, making it where you're within the 12 feet range, causing it where people are unable to see past your vehicle to be able to make that turn and causing it to be unsafe. So all these are being addressed by the patrol officers, trying to make it where we're safe and able to actually do our jobs to the community and keep it safe at all times.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that.
Any questions? Please.
I just want to thank you guys for focusing on the safety. You really stepped that up, and I want to thank you for following through on the e-bikes.
Absolutely happy to help.
Zach, I had one quick question. As in February, we don't have the gate statistics. Is there something that that caused why we don't have the gate passes and the entries by gate yet?
Can you repeat that again?
We don't, if you look at the gate entry statistics, we have the data for December and January, but not February. And I was just curious as to what, what caused that. Oh, okay. That's because of Lynn, but that explains things. We'll fix that. Okay. Thank you, Zach. All right. Do we have any member comments on any items that are not on the agenda? Any members wishing to speak?
Yes, we have one. Randy Raleigh? Rayleigh, excuse me. Come on up.
Well, good evening, everyone. Reason I'm here is concern over and hoping maybe for an update, explanation, overview, if you will, on the status of e-bike registration, number of yellow tags. Some months ago, my wife and I received a notification that if you have an e-bike, you need to take this safety test, get this yellow tag, display it on your bike at all times. And we did that. We absolutely did that. My wife's bike and mine, bright yellow tags. Having said that, I ride my bike quite a bit. We're out quite a bit. And I just don't see any yellow tags on people's bikes, which our most significant concern is children, little children. As you all know, we see kids just flying around here on these class 2, 3, and 4 e-bikes, which are effectively electric motorcycles. And again, not seeing the tags. And we stopped in at the POA office some time ago, and kind of the feedback we got was along the lines of, there's going to be some grace period of some unknown amount of time. And the tone seemed to be, after that point, we'll get more serious about enforcing the policy. And again, part of our interest is we have dear friends here in Canyon Lake whose son was killed several years ago in a bicycling accident in Canyon Lake. And so we would just very much appreciate an update on where this e-bike registration and enforcement program is.
Thank you for coming forward. We as a board and the community do share and share your concern and agree with your concern about e-bikes. We have put the new rules in place. We did have a grace period which ended last month, and we are starting the enforcement this month. And can staff give an update on where we stand with registrations to date, please?
The count was 416 registered at the end of last month, so about 10 days ago. And I too still see people riding e-bikes. I saw a group of kids the other day, and I looked specifically for yellow tags. I didn't see any tags on that group, and I called Community Patrol and I asked them to come advise them they need to be registered. So it's a process. 416 in a community with 12,000 people. You can imagine there's a lot more than 416 e-bikes here. So it's a matter of stopping people and letting them know the grace period's over. You need to have a tag on here. You'll be cited if you don't have a tag. And we're continuing to, try to push that out. But if one thing I've learned in 7 years is we can, force feed information on Facebook and Instagram and newsletters and Canyon Lake Living. But people have to be paying attention and they have to listen. And it's a process. It's going to take a while, but we're actively pushing that, and they are enforcing now.
Okay, again, my concern was more for not so much being really legalistic about, if you don't have the tag, we're going to get you kind of thing. I just don't want to see children hurt or killed because we've decided to delay enforcement.
No, we are enforcing, if they're not registered, they can get cited as well. And just to give you a little context, I think the month before we were at 170. So we've come up significantly in the last month, and we hope to continue that. And we also have launched a reward program for children, particularly under 18, that if patrol goes around and identifies these individuals, their bikes are registered and they're following the rules and they have helmets and so forth, that they can redeem a voucher for a gift certificate. And so that's coming. So all of these things will be part of the process to do it, but it's all fully in motion at this point.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming forward.
No other comments?
Perfect. Okay, well, now we come to one of the best things that in our meetings is the member of the month. And I'm going to turn it over to Vice President Doherty to honor this month's candidate.
So I'm going to begin tonight by telling you a story. And the story goes like this. When my wife and I moved into our current home in 2017, we were meeting with the sellers of the home and getting to know them a little bit. Actually, it's Tom and Nancy Green. Probably many of you know them. I was talking to Tom and he said, "Oh, Greg, by the way, if you ever need any audio, video, stereo stuff or electrical work done, I got the guy for you." Of course, everybody's got a guy, right? So I said, "Okay, Tom, great. Who is that?" And he says, "Larry the cable guy." Ha, ha, ha. Very funny, Tom, But of course he wasn't. kidding me. And of course, by that, I'm probably letting out of the bag who our recipient is, and that's Larry Garland, who's sitting back there in the back. So Larry, allow me another minute or two to tell the folks about your history here and everything, and then you'll come up for your award and your photograph. So Larry and his wife Linda moved here in about 2010, and they were looking to retire. They were living back east. And knowing Larry, you won't be surprised. They were looking and looking for a retirement home, a retirement community, and they found Canyon Lake on Google. So again, if you know Larry, shouldn't surprise you. They moved here, and Larry decided, okay, this is it. I'm retiring. And then he decided he didn't like retirement. That's not for me. I don't like this. So he and his wife Linda decided they needed to make some new friends, like many people that move here and they don't know anybody. So Larry starts looking at all the clubs, and he first joins the cheer volleyball club. And then he joins the yacht club, and soon he's the vice commodore of the yacht club, and he's held that position for several years. Then he joins the Choraliers. Larry's a joiner. And of course, Larry loves to sing, as most of you probably know. And soon he became president of that organization. And he's been in that position for 8 years, as I understand it. So then he joined the Canyon Lake Guild and as a publicity director, and then very soon worked his way up to vice president and director of operations. And of course, you all see Larry at the concerts that we have here, the Guild and the POA concerts, and he's working the lights, and he also is very active in booking the bands that appear at these concerts. So he does a lot of work. So Larry, I'm so happy to hear that you found your forever home. You and your wife found your forever home here in Canyon Lake. We're so happy and lucky to have you, and we're proud to present you tonight with this award. So please come on up, and we'll take the photo. Let's say you will. Sure, yeah. Hold on, maybe might, yeah.
Howdy. So we have a concert on May 10th, so you all are you got to come to the concert. That's Corlier, so I have to put that in there, right? I had written a little article for the Friday Flyer. Some of you read it, and some of the excerpts you took.
You noticed.
Yes, I did, which was good. So it worked fine. As I said at the end of that, I canned Canyon Lake as Mayberry on steroids. If you get that, I just think it's a great place. They're wonderful people, and we've really enjoyed living here, and we aren't going anywhere. We're staying right here. So I thank you for this, and thank you all. And we're going to keep doing the lights and doing the whole thing. Can't get rid of me. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
There we go.
That is well deserved. He's done a lot for our community. All right, now to the less entertaining portion of the meeting. Let's see, we have financial statement review, and we need to ratify monthly financial statements.
Can we
Sorry.
squeeze in a
Actually, yeah.
personnel announcement?
What's that?
Can we squeeze in a personnel announcement?
You want to do that now? Absolutely.
Up to you.
Let's do it now.
Okay.
Since it's been brought up.
So as you all know, it was front page news after 23 years. She's tearing up. So she said today she wasn't going to cry today, and that's never going to happen. It's already happening. Sorry. Anyway, after 23 years, Lynn Jensen has really been a fixture here at the POA. Long before my time, I've been here 7 years, and we're very sad to lose her. But she got a fantastic opportunity out in the desert, and we're very proud of her and wish her the best. But you're leaving huge shoes to fill, and we're really going to miss you. The day I got offered the general manager position, I kind of just wandered and felt kind of lost. I'd been director of operations for 4 months, and Bruce Yarborough's board offered me the general manager position, and I kind of just wandered into Lynn's office because I didn't know what else to do. And I sat down and I go, well, what do you think, Lynn? And she looked at me and she goes, are you sure you want to be the general manager here? And I'll never forget that. And I think about that all the time now. But so I guess I want to ask you, are you sure you want to be the general manager out in the desert? Because you asked me that. But you're amazing. I've learned so much from you. We've all learned so much from you. You're an absolute fixture here. And the level that we're going to miss you there's just no way to put it into words. And we're glad you're going to stay in communication with us. And we love you, and we're going to miss you. And on the same announcement line, so thank you for everything. We kind of split that position up into 2 pieces, and there'll be more on this publicly announced, but I'll say it now that we've created 2 director positions, and we're kind of moving back to a director structure for the Canyon Lake POA. And we've added a director of corporate administration, which is going to sort of handle the business and disciplinary side and help funnel some of the traffic from me, the general manager, onto a director. And we interviewed people from within our organization because obviously we need someone with experience. And Harmony interviewed for that position, and Harmony will be taking on that role on Thursday after Lynn leaves us tomorrow. So congratulations, Harmony. And we've also created a director of, did I get that right? Your corporate administration. We've also created a director of community services. Sorry, I was going to write this down and I just ran out of time. And that position will oversee member services, activities, and communications. And the person who's done an amazing job running our communications department for the whole time I've been here, Tiffany Cribbs, will be taking that position on. And so congratulations, Tiffany. We're excited about this. We're very sad to see Lynn leave, but I tried to take a look at how our organization is run for the last 7 years and build a structure that will allow some younger people on our staff to grow and take on new challenges. And instead of one person filling Lynn's shoes, we sort of have 2 people, and then there'll be other opportunities for the people that the positions they're leaving for other people to move up. So it's an opportunity for growth for multiple people in our organization and build some depth in our roster for long term. I'm 60, so who knows how long I'll last here, and just kind of looking to the future. But I think we have 2 very good candidates for this position, and we're all excited. And Harmony's leaving a position, clerk of the board, by moving up, and Andrea Marino will be taking Harmony's position as clerk of the board, and that's why Andrea is here with us. So congratulations to Andrea also. So we're very sad to see Lynn leave, but we're excited for all of our future, and we'll definitely be staying in touch. So thank you for everything.
I'm sure you'll hear from each of us later tonight that Lynn, we are so thankful for all you've done for our community. Boy, it's a big part of us, 23 years, right? Now everything, and I think you were one of the employees that is in almost every position too. And so you've left a little piece of your light everywhere, and we thank you for all of that. We're very excited for you. I think you're in a great position and a great opportunity, and you certainly deserve a GM role. And so we're happy for you. We're sad. We'll miss you. But I'm also excited, Eric. I think you've done a great job addressing the organization, and it's kind of a new opportunity for the POA. And this is I think this is a really great move, a good move on your part, and a good move to kind of develop the next generation leadership of this organization. So I think we do get, although we will miss Lynn, Lynn gets a win, and POA will continue to grow as well. And so job well done. Okay, let's get to the business at hand. The consent agenda is the monthly financial statements, the executive actions, and the authorization of liens. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
Thank you. All right. To the board action items, let's move to item 8.1. Harmony?
Yes, thank you. This item is actually what we call a housekeeping item, something that's been overlooked that will need to get registered, or I should say a certificate of amendment for articles of incorporation that needs to be processed and certified. In 2016, it was put on the ballot to remove proxies. The members voted and removed that. In 2019, it was realized that the word proxy was still mentioned in our articles of incorporation, which were established in our founding. So it was placed on a ballot then to clean it up and have that removed as well. But it never was processed with the Secretary of State. So that is what we'd like to ask for the board to approve now.
Okay, so this is the cleanup item. This all was approved in 2019. So we're cleaning up 5 years of stuff with our Secretary of State. So our California government can catch up with us. All right, perfect. Is there a motion to approve this amendment?
Motion.
Second.
Perfect. Discussion? Any members would like to discuss it? Any questions from the members? Nope. Board members, any items to discuss? Let's take a vote. All in favor of approving this amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
All right, Susan Dawood is not here, but we will have,
I'm going to be Susan tonight.
good. So Lynn, please fill us in.
Yes, thank you. Background on this, as part of a prudent accounting for the road defect litigation proceeds, Canyon Lake Property Owners Association has maintained construction defect account for road repairs. Due to upcoming expenditures for the road repair project, it's necessary to transfer funds for immediate use to an account that can be accessed by accounts payable. So it's recommended to be in compliance with Civil Code 5115 and prudent fiscal management. It's recommended that $2,356,296.61 is transferred between CLPOA construction defect account number 993 and CLPOA operating account number 320 to be accessible for future and immediate road repair project expenditures approved by the board of the Canyon Lake POA.
Perfect. So to clarify this, this is moving money between funds, in essence, from a savings account to the checking account, if you will, to pay for, and they're always obligated to, or they're always intended for use in the roads fund. So it's just mechanically, anytime we move money, we have to get a board approval. So is there a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Second.
All right, first and second. Any questions or comments from the community? Any questions or comments from the board? All in favor of approving this funds transfer, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
Perfect. Okay, item 8.3 is a similar one. This is a reserve funds transfer. Can you maybe explain it a little bit to us, please?
I'll take that one. Cash is moved between the operating account where accounts payable checks are written and our reserve fund Schwab investments accounts when necessary and as investments mature in order to replenish and balance the interfund accounting. The following funds need to be transferred between the operating account and fund account as a partial transfer. Repair and replacement fund, transfer out of repair and replacement investment fund, which is at Schwab, to operating investment fund, $650,000. That account is also at Schwab. Fiscal impact reduces the outstanding intercompany liability between funds by $650,000. The staff recommendation is in compliance with Civil Code 5515 and prudent fiscal management. It is recommended that $650,000 is transferred between the operating account and the reserve account in order to repay each fund for monies owed as of April 30th, 2024.
Thank you, Eric.
Motion.
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Okay, lots of seconds. Okay, first and second. So I guess one comment, this is, we had transferred money before to this is kind of repaying that account. So this is again, just a repaying accounts that were moved before. So it's completing that effort as was promised. And it, again, is just a mechanical measure that we have to approve all fund changes from the board. So any questions from the community? Any comments from the board?
I think one comment, just as we go end of the year, March 1st or April 31st, this is pretty common practice as we're trying to balance all our budgets to make sure everything's in the right fund. So we sit here a year from now, we're going to be making some of these same decisions and year after that and year after that. So pretty common as we run into our end of the year finances.
Anyone else? Let's take a vote. All in favor of the reserve funds transfer, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
All right, item 8.4, Finance Committee member appointment.
Okay, so the Finance Committee has an opening for a committee member. The Finance Committee has the following recommendations. Move Bill Medved to move from first alternate to Finance Committee member, because they actually have alternates on this committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, I believe there was someone retired off the committee and this will be moving up an alternate. Any questions? Oh, sorry. Anyone motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Okay. Any questions from the community members? No? Board members? I know Bill Medved has been a first alternate for a couple of years, so he certainly is now on board. Makes a lot of sense to me. So go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about the vacancy that Dudley Thompson has served on the Finance Committee for many years, was a valuable member of the committee, and he resigned for personal reasons and left the space open. So we want to thank Dudley for his service as well. But Bill will be a great person to fill that void. We welcome this.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, for reminding us of that, because Dudley has done a great service, as do all people who serve on committees for a long time, but he's been on that committee for many, many years, and he's a great individual. So all in favor of approving the Finance Committee appointment, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
Okay, likewise, committee member removal.
Correct. So currently the Security Advisory Committee has 7 members and 2 alternates. So a little background, we've had this in a couple committees this year. When multiple committee members are absent from a meeting, it can cause the committee to not meet quorum and be able to conduct their meeting. Over the past year, this particular committee has had a member that has had schedule availability conflicts and have not been able to attend multiple meetings. So due to that, the committee and staff has recommended removing this committee member from the committee to allow an alternate to be appointed as a committee member. So it's recommended that the Board of Directors remove Tony Schwarzman from the Security Advisory Committee to allow for a committee member appointment from the alternates on the committee. Thank you.
we have a motion? All right,
Make a motion.
second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion, any discussion from the community? Or questions? Board member comments or questions?
I do have a question. In most cases, when somebody can't make meetings on a regular basis, they step down. Did Tony make any talk about him stepping down, or did he want to stay on the committee and the schedule's not allowing it right now?
I think it's been minimal communication. I think the intent was to be able to attend, but it's been many months that he hasn't been able to attend. So the committee felt he's just not available to meet.
And I guess I'm sorry to see this too. I know and respect Tony a lot. I know he's not only a good individual, he's a significant business that he's built here in Canyon Lake and done a good service for the community. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I also can understand family and business comes first in things when you have to make a living, and that sometimes happens. And if you can't make, so while I'm sorry to see this occur, on the other hand, it does reinforce the expectation that when we have members participating in committees, that they are able to participate. And if it happens regularly and they cannot, or due to whatever reasons, that we sometimes have to make changes. So I understand that. With that, let's take a vote. All in favor of approving this committee member removal, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
Hearing,
One sustained, one abstained.
hearing 4 in favor, 1 abstention, motion carried.
Thank you. All right, reserve study report. Eric.
Thank you. Little background, the board of directors engaged a company called Smart Property, which we've used 3 years ago and ever since for our reserve study. It's also an online software, kind of a living reserve study that our operations department and I update on a regular basis as we repair and replace things. We engage them to conduct our 24-25 reserve study. This study reviews the association's assets and the funds reserved to provide for the repair and replacement of these assets. I won't read the civil code, but it's in your agenda, Civil Code 5550. At least once every 3 years, the board shall cause to be conducted a reasonably competent reserve study, blah, blah, blah. It's all there if you want to read it. We're required by Davis Sterling to do this every 3 years. The study is required by that section of Civil Code to identify the major components that the association is obligated to repair, replace, restore, or maintain as of the date of the study, having a remaining useful life of less than 30 years. Identification, the second point is identification of the probable remaining useful life of those components. We have over 1,000 components in our reserve study, which is an awful lot. Most associations don't have anywhere near that. Condo association might have landscaping and a pool or a tennis court. We have 1,000 components. Every item in the kitchen is in the reserve study. An oven, a cooktop, plates, everything we own is in our reserve study. Major components. Let's see. The third item is estimate of the cost of repair, replacement, restoration, or maintenance of those components. And the fourth requirement is an estimate of the total annual contribution necessary to defray the cost to repair, replace, restore, or maintain the components identified after subtracting total reserve funds as of the date of the study. And the fifth requirement is a 30-year reserve funding plan that indicates how the association plans to fund the association's obligation of maintaining and replacing the assets identified over time. Once approved, the entire report along with this summary will be available, and in your agenda is a link. And if you just go to our homepage under financials, you'll see it once it's approved by the board. Fiscal impact is none. It's actually $30,000 to conduct the study every 3 years. It's required by law, but it's a civil code requirement. And the recommendation is that the Board of Directors receive and file the completed reserve study for the period beginning May 1st, 2024.
Thank you, Eric. We have a motion on this item?
Motion.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, great. Any comments or questions from the community? I think the blah, blah, blah it has to do with the civil code requirements that are listed in the agenda. They're written in very small fine print, I guess, if you'd say, and just what the civil code is.
It
So that-
should be in our
That was
packet.
the, yeah. Yeah, and instead of having to read that over, okay. Board discussion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a couple of comments. Smart Properties is probably the best tool I've ever seen for reserve study. It is an excellent tool, and I know we've had multiple rounds of iterations of it, and a lot of hard work done by staff, in particular with it. So appreciate all the hard work that's been done on that. The one thing that I guess we got the reserve study report. We haven't had a full chance to review the summary results of that, or that I know a link was provided in our board books, but I don't know that any of the board members have had a chance to look at that. And one of the things that is beneficial to us as a board is to have our finance committee provide an opinion on it as well. And that's healthy for, as an organization where your peers, if you will, provide an opinion on that. And so one of the things that'd be helpful to us before we finally approve it is to get that opinion as well. And so one of the things I'd like maybe the board to consider is tabling this for this month, asking the finance committee to review the final result at their next meeting, which is next week maybe, or so forth, in order for us to come back and approve it at next month's meeting. Questions, comment, please respond.
I'd like to make a subsidiary motion to table this issue on the reserve study for 1 month and then get back to the community next month.
I'll second it. Discussion? I think basically what we're doing is we're asking for a month to be able to look at the details behind that. Eric, does that create a significant hardship to the organization?
No, we've completed our civil code requirement, and Susan distributed the link to the committee this afternoon, and we've already started to receive some comments back. And it's 512 pages, which is why we don't put it in the board book, or it would be nothing but reserve study. It's 1,000 items. So it takes a little while to look through that. So no, you can receive it and file it next month.
Okay. All in favor of this subsidiary motion to table for 1 month, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
All right. The next one is the facility reservation use and rental agreement.
Yes, so we're proposing a 28-day reading on the rules for the Lighthouse Restaurant and the Country Club for facility reservation, use and rental. So a little background on this: with the recent renovations completed at the lodge and the increased use of the 2 restaurants and common area facilities, various banquets and events, it's been determined that clarification of what areas of these restaurants are allowed to be reserved is needed. In previous years, policy allowed for rental of the bar, lounge, and dining area at the lodge. In addition, some events hosted at the Country Club and Lodge have requested use of the entire facility for the event. With these 2 facilities primarily operating as restaurants and the need to provide daily food services to help keep the subsidies down, staff is recommending modification to the rules and regulations for banquet and event reservations. So our internal policy already kind of has this defined, but we felt that it needed to be in the rules. In the proposed revision, the rules and regulations, it's recommended to specify which areas for each restaurant may be reserved for a banquet or an event. In addition, staff is recommending that only half the Sunset Lounge terrace patio be reserved for a banquet or event to allow minimal impact to daily restaurant operations, which this also has been in practice, but we wanted to clarify it in the rules. I already said that, sorry. So it's recommended that the board approve a 28-day reading on the revision of the rules and regulations for Lighthouse Rules 4.1A and Country Club Rules 4.1A as attached. So just to kind of quickly go over them in red here, we're actually adding a whole new section. The reservable locations at the Lodge and Lighthouse Restaurant are as follows: the Holiday Bay Room, the Pool View Room, the Sunset Beach Room, the Private Dining Room, half the Sunset Lounge Terrace Patio, and then the front lawn and trellis. And there's a time period, I believe it's up to 5 hours for each of these items. It's specified in the fee schedule. And then for the country club, the reservable locations would be the country club dining room, the country club patio, and the Magnolia Room. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Is there a motion to approve this reading?
Motion.
Second.
Perfect. Any questions or comments from the community? No? Larry, come forward.
This is also for sanctioned clubs, as I think I saw on some sheet that was passed out yesterday.
Yes, so the packet that was handed out to the clubs is the fee schedule. So these would be the corresponding locations with the fee schedule in the rules. Yes, sir.
So it's the Holiday Bay Room is Like-
Reservable,
reservable.
Yes.
So if we have, I'm speaking on the choir's behalf at this point,
correct,
choir, so it's a small group.
correct.
Um,
So the rates and the club discussion that we had yesterday still apply. We're just saying in the rules and regulations, these are the actual rooms that are available to be reserved. Yes,
So the way I'm reading it then is it's like, I think $790 for the room.
it's whatever the fee schedule is that current fiscal year. I believe that's the next year's fiscal year fee. Yes, sir. If,
It's quite a.
well, that's,
about a small
well,
group.
that's for the daily rental. The whole club conversation is separate. We could talk about that separately. This is more of just which areas a club or a group can reserve, because the POAs receive requests to reserve the entire lodge premises for functions. And we're still trying to operate the restaurant. So we're not renting out the dining room. We're not renting out the bar lounge. And so we just wanted to clarify that in the rules and regulations. But I could talk to you about the club thing afterwards if you'd like. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
just to clarify, this reading is not, doesn't identify rates. That's a separate session. This is only identifying the areas that are available, able to be rented, whether for private use or club use.
Okay, thank you.
Any other member comments, questions? Chris? come on.
Chris Papavero, 3974-018. It's still in regards to this. It's talking about the liability, that the POA doesn't accept any reliability or liability. Does that mean that we have to have insurance for clubs if we're renting these spaces?
So that's not addressed in this board action item. That's actually separate from that. Those rules are currently in place.
Wow.
Yes, sir. And insurance requirements have become more stringent, but that's separate from this action item.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Can I talk to you about that later?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, those requirements are not addressed, at least in this item, as I know it may be a member of concern. I am concerned. We certainly happy to have that conversation after the meeting. Okay, board members, any questions or comments? All in favor of approving this 28-day reading, say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
Perfect. All right, and then we have two more items coming up. They're 28-day readings for a new rule, GR 5.1U and 5.10 regarding failure to stop at a stop sign and yield. And I know we received some comments on this from the community already. And there's some good comments that have been brought forward. And rather than bring staff forward to go through it I'm going to propose that we table both of these items and bring them back next month. Can I get a second on that motion?
Second.
On both items. Tabling both items, 8.8 and 8.9. Okay, motion second. Any questions or discussion on that comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
5 in favor, motion carried.
We'll address it next month, please. And with that, we are up to closing comments. Oh, no, sorry. No, we're not quite there yet. I'm jumping way ahead. Let's have Eric tell us about association report.
Already? Okay. Okay. Okay, well, big news is Lynn is leaving us. You've done a great job. Thank you again for everything. Under Lynn's supervision, the food and beverage subsidy was greatly reduced. She did a great job leading both restaurants through a period of a lot of chaos. And we have two very strong managers now, and Lynn really helped us stabilize what amounts to our largest group of employees. 96 employees work between the two restaurants, and we're very grateful to have two strong managers, but Lynn was kind of steering that bus, so thank you again for that. And I already mentioned Harmony and Tiffany and Andrea, so congratulations to you three. Looking forward to the future. We already touched on e-bikes. Last count was 416 registrations. I do want to mention that there was a comment earlier about class 4 bikes. We don't allow class 4 bikes here. So just want to correct that. What's your comment, Bill? Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna do class 3 right now. Okay. And we had a club presidents meeting yesterday, last night in here. It was last night, right? The week is a blur. And I think that was a productive meeting, just educating the club presidents as to new requirements. And I think it was good for club presidents to talk to each other. We had some conflicts with Car Club, for instance, had a conflict with pickleball, and they worked it out so that pickleball is going to move their shifts. So clubs don't compete with each other on their major events. So I suspect that'll probably be an annual meeting that we'll do. Fiesta Day is coming up, Saturday of Memorial Day weekend. Coming up fast. Parade applications, if you want to be in the parade, are going to be available online April 15th. April 20th here in the Holiday Bay Room, we have a concert coming up, Thompson Square. Little bit of news that's uncertain right now. Our November 2nd concert features country star Colt Ford. He had a heart attack 2 or 3 days ago and is currently in ICU. So not sure if we're going to be able to go through with that concert. So if you have Colt Ford tickets, stay tuned. We're hopeful he can still play. November's a long way off, but uncertain what's going to happen with that concert date as of right now. And as usual, I'll direct you all to our very thoughtfully prepared staff reports. Tiffany every month puts together a fantastic communications report, which starts on page 50. And it's our fanciest, most colorful report, the only colorful report from our staff, and full of lovely, colorful graphs and charts and images of the marketing and campaigns that they're putting together. Tiffany's done a fantastic job making the whole organization look very professional and really promoting our activities and our functions and everything we have to offer here in Canyon Lake. And so I urge you to look at that report. There's a lot of good information. Operations also has a very thorough report. And if you want to know what committees are doing, if you look in page 65 of the distribution, I think it's 65. It's in my book, it's 65. But if you look at the operations report, there's a section, committees and what committees are doing. And if you want to know what your peers are doing in committee form, it talks about what the Green Committee is discussing, and there's a pretty interesting item in there this month. The Green Committee has made a recommendation to change the sequence of golf holes on our golf course, which is pretty significant and really interesting. And so you'll see us talk about that probably in the next coming month. But if you want to know where these things come from, they're detailed every month by the operations department. They sort of keep score here of what the committees are talking about every month, and it's towards the back of the operations report. But just as an example, that's an interesting thing that's coming out of the Green Committee is starting the golf course on hole 12 would be renumbered as hole 1, and I'm just mixing up the path of play. Golf Pro and the Green Committee seem to agree that it'll cause a better flow of traffic, easier to get food as you make the turn, that type of thing. So when you hear us talk about things, they don't just come out of left field. It's these committees have been working on them for a while, and in that report is where you'll find that information. So that's all I have this month, and thanks for coming. Oh, let me say that our pavement project's going really well. We're on phase 7 and 8 out of 10. We had to skip phase 3 because of rain earlier, but so we're going to be doing phase, Lynn has it up on the screen. We're currently doing Longhorn from, let's see, from the Treasure Island Causeway to Happy Camp. That section is being done. Both directions have been worked on now. They were grinding on the northbound section. And the next phase will be the other part of Longhorn. It's been a very challenging street, but honestly, the residents have been super cooperative, and our contractors are fantastic and directing traffic to one side of the street, split into 2 lanes. And we thought it was going to be a pretty serious challenge because that's kind of a one-way dead end, that part of the community, and it's a major artery, but it's going really well. So knock on wood. We're over halfway on our year 2. This $8 million project this year, and it's going great so far. So we look forward to that being done by June. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that. The good news, we have no architectural appeals tonight. So this will be a very short meeting, depending on how long our directors choose to speak tonight. So Alex, let's begin with you.
So this last month was a pretty busy month for me for the POA because people take off for a month. People decide to have knee surgeries. People get busy with work. And for some reason, I'm the one who was left around this month. So I sat in IDR, which I had never sat in before. I sat in appeals committee. I sat in finance committee. I sat in, God, I felt like almost every committee that operated, but other than Green Committee the last month. So super busy. They're always fun. I mean, committees are fun. They're good people. They're, again, our peers, the community members, next door neighbors, and all trying to make smart decisions and see the future. So it was really, really good, except I'm hoping none of these guys take that much time off again. But that was really good. I don't have a lot to say tonight other than losing Lynn for me is really tough because Lynn is a partner to the community, always has been, not an employee of the POA. She's been a partner for all of us as a community, and she's really been here for everybody. It's sad that I don't remember really when I met her, but I remember her always encouraged me to, like, you should be on this committee. You should do this. You should do this. So I blame her for me sitting up here now. She is absolutely the most amazing person we could ever ask for in any way. And this has nothing to do with the POA. This is you as a person. And I thank you. I thank you for being a partner for the whole community for all these years. We're going to truly miss you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Greg.
Well, good segue, Alex. Thank you. As some of you may know, for the past 30 days, ending this past Saturday, President Van Vliet was out of the country. So that left it to me as call it the temporary president to, field those foul balls that come the way of the board virtually every day. And thankfully, there weren't too many of those, so everything was fine. But then 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago, I had full replacement knee surgery on my right knee. And so then we were kind of down to three directors, one out of the country and one down and out. But I say all this because I really want to thank the three remaining healthy directors that weren't out of the country for stepping up, as Alex outlined, and fulfill mostly these committee meetings, because we go to a lot of meetings. Now, that's not a criticism or a complaint by any stretch of the imagination. We go to these meetings to stay informed. That's why we do it, and it works very well. But it takes a lot of time. But again, Alex and Joe and Jeff, thank you so much for stepping up and keeping the wheels greased, if you will. There's a couple of committee vacancies out there now. One of them is the Recreation Committee, which I'm the liaison for. And so I would encourage you to out there in Canyon Lake land, if you've never served on a committee, think about it. It can be very, very rewarding. And Recreation Committee is a fun committee. You get to approve little projects and improve the community. It's really great. I would also like to congratulate the new chairman of the Recreation Committee. Although he's not been approved by the board, I won't mention his name. I'm sure that's going to happen next month, but we do have a new chairman, Joe Grasso, after many years of service on the Rec Committee and many other committees and serving this community, elected to leave that position as chairman basically because of his busy schedule. Lastly, with regard to Lynn, people are saying to her, "Oh, good luck," and all this stuff. I'm a believer that you make your own luck. I've always believed that. And you, in this case, you've made your own luck. You've ramped up your situation to a much nice position, general manager, and you've earned every bit of it. But it wasn't due to luck. It was due to the hard work. So we're going to miss you. And I thank you for your service.
Joe.
Well, I appreciate the turnout tonight. Tonight wasn't a very exciting meeting, other than a nice farewell to Lynn. I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to give my committee reports. I serve on the Green Committee, and like reported last month, they're still working on the tree program. That'll be going to the board here next month. And the golf course alignment, hole alignment, that's a positive thing that is got good reviews from the members, and we'll be moving forward with that program. They also will be discussing bunker repairs on the golf course, which is coming due in the next couple of years. TWG just completed 50 feet of cart path replacement. That's a lot of cart path for those guys, and they broke it out, tore it out, formed it, and poured it, and we're very grateful for them and the work that they do. Senior Center has a potluck
And
dinner.
girls.
Guys in the general term, that includes women.
And girls. You said guys.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know that too. The ladies are a big part of that TWG. Thank you, Eric.
I'm half kidding. but
I know.
Only half.
Where was I? Oh, the Senior Center has their potluck dinner coming up Sunday, the 28th, 5 p.m. If you've got a potluck dinner you want to bring over to the Senior Center and share with the others, they'd all welcome you. Our election is coming up, and tomorrow night is to meet the candidates, and also an opportunity for members to ask questions about the measures. If you're not clear on the pros and cons of the measures, or get the candidates' opinions on the measures, it's a good opportunity to come here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock and participate in that. We do need 1,600 votes on the first day to meet quorum. And you may not be too inspired with only 2 candidates and 2 spots open, but it is important. It's very important we meet quorum and If we have to go to the second day, the quorum drops to 1,200, but it costs us a significant sum of money. So if we can avoid that, we would like to do that. Well, Lynn, what can I say? It's been a long time, and we've made a long friendship even before my time on the board, but even more so with my time on the board. And you've been a tremendous asset to this community, and we will seriously miss you, and wish you well. I know it's a big venture for you too, so we wish you real well. And to Harmony, Andrea, and Tiffany, congratulations to you guys. It's a great opportunity for you, and wish you well. And whatever I can do to help support that, I'm happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Jeff?
Well, first off, Bill, I'm glad they let you back in the country. We were getting a little worried that that might not happen. I also wanted to address the e-bike. This was stuff that was brought up tonight. The whole point of the program is safety. We've set up programs for negative rewards, like you can be cited and all that sort of stuff, as well as positive rewards. Positive rewards are the gift cards that we mentioned, but just to let you know that the money that came for that positive rewards came from people in the community that donated. So this is a whole community-wide movement to make it safe, to watch out for the kids, to put the program together. Now, having said that, one of the things I've seen on the road lately is I see the kids like to take the tags and tuck them behind their reflectors. I saw 4 kids riding together doing that the other day. I've seen that happen a few times this week. And I'm sure that Zach and the security guys are on to that. So just to let you know, if your kids are out there and you got their tags under the reflectors, you might want to talk to them that that's not going to fly. So next is also the neighborhood watch. We've done that on a trial basis. It's been successful. We want to start moving that out to other parts of the neighborhood. For it to succeed, we need good leaders to step up and do that. If you're interested in getting involved with the neighborhood watch, please approach us, approach the staff. We'd like to get this going. We've had great success with where we're at, and we can put you in touch with some of the people that are working it now. So the candidate forum, yeah, there's only 2 guys, as my predecessors here or previous speakers said, but I would encourage you guys to come and harass them and bring tomatoes, tar, feathers, whatever you feel like. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm not sure yet who I'm going to vote for, so I'm going to try and make it to this and see what happens from there. So the other thing, just want a quick note because I'm in the club and I like to support it. Saturday is Cars and Coffee at Sierra Park from 8 to 10. You got a hot rod car, bring it. If you don't, come down and look at the others. So, and then the other part to get into is Lynn. I wanted to personally thank her for everything that she's done. And I know you guys have heard us go on, but there's a reason for that. She deserves it. She has been there to answer questions for me. She's always been helpful. She puts the needs of the community sometimes ahead of her needs, which I've seen, and she probably shouldn't have done that, but we're grateful for that. And we are going to miss her. And she is really just a nice all around good person. And we've been lucky to have her. And I really hope she comes back. We've got a lot of events happening. We got a lot of things. If nothing else, come back and visit. Back to the car club, come to the car show, come to the different events. I'll even, I'll call you in. I'll get you a pass. So that's really all I have to say is I just want to, thank you for what you did. And you have worked hard towards a goal. The difference between a goal and a wish, you work towards a goal. A wish, you just wait for it to happen. And you achieved this. And we're very proud of you and we're very grateful.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, one thing that I've learned over the last month is there are no secrets in Canyon Lake. I know I was trying to keep it a well-kept secret that I was going on a month-long vacation, but so much for that. But the good news is I took 2,322 photos, and I'd like to take, if I can hook up my phone, I'd like to go through those now. Oh, and 24 videos. So no, it was, to get that opportunity to go away is great. We went to 7 countries in Asia, and it's really important when you do get a chance to and have the opportunity to travel, you get to experience other people, other places, other cultures. and you come back with kind of a different set of eyes. And one of the things that reminds me is we're so blessed to be here. This is such a special community. It's the people in here that are so special. It's the people that help keep us, that run this organization. We have such great leadership with Eric, Lynn and company. And we've got a good team. And so to that, I want to echo Greg's comments. This couldn't be done without this team. The responsibilities of the board. I was out for a month. Greg was down and injured for part of that. And so I want to thank you all personally for again stepping up and filling in. And some people I've heard said they felt it went a lot better in that last month without that. But we'll keep that quiet. It's a testament to we have a good team, and I'm really happy to say that with the election coming up, we will get the opportunity, if everyone votes, to keep this team going because it's a good team of good people, and I thank everyone for all their hard efforts. And again, I'm going to close on probably the biggest thing and the biggest news we have. That's no real news, but it is all about Lynn. And Lynn is a special person. Lynn is probably the kindest individual I know, and she will be greatly missed, but we are so happy for you getting such a good opportunity and for you and your family. And so with that, again, for the fifth and final time, thank you, Lynn. The next meeting is going to be May 7th, where we return to our first Tuesday of the month on May 7th. Between now and then, please remember, if you haven't, get out and vote. There are not only two candidates running, two stellar candidates that are going to go fist to fist tomorrow night, but there are three important measures to vote on as well, and we will be covering those in the meeting. So please come to that. With that, can I get a motion?
Can I add one more thing real quick?
Yes.
I forgot earlier. Little birdie reminded me. I would also like to announce that we've chosen a grand marshal for our Fiesta Day parade, Lynn Jensen. Yeah. So we're not letting her leave just yet. She'll be around.
I love it. What a great way to finish. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Cannon Lake. Go out and enjoy the sunset, and we will see you next month.